you know, I didn't really do this much preview, and I'm like, with some days, so with some hours left to the game, I'm like, let me obviously come up and obviously put out something special for you. And I've gone ahead to see people already in the comment section saying, we've been waiting for you, and here I come. Here I come. And please continue to subscribe so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And Arsenal is going to be playing against a team known as Aston Villa. Big game. By the way, if there is a team that has gone ahead to be a bogey side to Mikel Arteta ever since he took over as a manager of Arsenal, it has been none other than Aston Villa. He has faced, the worst of his career by playing against his predecessor. That is Unai Emery. So, it's really a hard game. Big game. That's why you guys are really flocking here in large numbers to obviously listen out onto what my thought is really going to be about this. And the prediction is really going to be one of those that you guys will obviously get shocked maybe about it, but most of you won't be surprised. Good morning, and hope you guys are really having fun. I'm really having some people already in the live chat. There is Henry Moses from the Switzerland of Africa. That is in the southwest Uganda in there. Then I'm having Zuma Rich. Good evening, RD. I wish we could win against Aston Villa. Then I'm having Nyasio Aboki Kato from Fort Porto. Thank you for watching through. Please tell me about Timber and Carafiori. Guys, don't open the envelope before, don't pinch the envelope before I open it, because you'll obviously end up getting half-baked information. So please, just don't cross the bridge before we reach it. Be 100% sure that we are gonna reach there, and we will reach the bridge. That is it. So continue to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And guys, make it a point that you smash the like button close to 100 times. And my worst experience when I'm doing this live stream is like, we are having close to hundreds of people watching in through, and the likes are really very, very little. Please smash the like button like no other. Please smash it, smash it, and let's obviously do the needful. And I have one of my friends here. Last time when I was live, he told me, if at all I were on TikTok, I would have gone ahead to smash it like a million times, because on TikTok you can smash the like button like up 10 times. You get? So, one of the first indicators today that I think Arsenal should take as an advantage is all about Arsenal playing before Man City plays. Arsenal is playing today, and Man City is playing on the 1st, right? If at all I'm not mistaken. Man City is playing on the 1st of January, meaning that Arsenal will play today, and if they win, they would have gone ahead to pile pressure on Man City. You get? Because in the recent 6 games, I think it has been Man City playing before Arsenal. Like you saw it last weekend, Arsenal played after Man City had beaten Nottingham Forest by 2-1. And even in the other weekend, Man City played West Ham, on Saturday 20th. They played first, then Arsenal came later on. I think it was around 23 hours in there. Then again, I think on the 13th of December, Arsenal played first, and then Man City played the next day, because they are playing Crystal Palace, a team that had taken part into what we call the UEFA Conference League. So that is it for those sides, and Arsenal this time round is playing first ahead of a team known as Man City. That means if they win this game, City will come knowing that they really have a lot of pressure onto them, because most of the games they've gone to see Arsenal not playing very well is because of that pressure that comes with a team like Man City winning before you play. And you have to take it and really respect them because of what they've gone ahead to do as a side of Man City, and building that fear factor that even if you're still ahead of them, City comes up and obviously does the needful, to really frighten and really threaten you. You get? So, City is playing Sunderland on the 1st of January. You understand? 2026. Now, Arsenal has all what it takes to really see themselves protract that lead, to 5 points, as they are 2 points ahead of a team known as Manchester City. So, I know you are here to see to it that we talk about the news in really huge detail, right? Let's get into Arsenal and Aston Villa head to head. Arsenal is first and they're having 42 points. Aston Villa is third and they're having 39 points. This means that if Arsenal goes ahead and beats Aston Villa, they will be at level, or they'll be at level terms, as Villa will be having 42 points. Arsenal is 3 points ahead of Villa. If they beat Villa, Arsenal will stretch to 6 points ahead of Villa. Arsenal has scored 33 goals. Aston Villa has scored 29 goals. You understand? Now, Arsenal has conceded 19 goals. I think it's the least, it's the best team to have conceded the least number of goals in the league. 19 goals conceded by Aston Villa. It shows you that Arsenal scores a lot of goals and they concede less. Aston Villa has 29 goals. They really score goals, but they found themselves in a position of really getting themselves in a position of a position of really conceding very many goals. That is the side of Villa for you. Then 198 shots for Arsenal. 90 of those have been on target. 108 of those have been off target. 72 shots have been blocked by the opponents that Arsenal have gone ahead to face. We go to Aston Villa. They have 144. They have 144 shots. 80 on target, 64 off target. And it shows you that the huge percentage of the number of shots they have this season are on target. That is 80. Arsenal 90 are on target and 108 are not on target. And what brings that? Arsenal lacks composure in the final third of the pitch. 64 shots off target by Villa, 64 shots blocked by the opponents. Arsenal has a passing accuracy of 85.48%. Aston Villa has a passing accuracy of 84.39%. You understand? Then 6 points have been gained from a losing position by Arsenal, and Aston Villa has gained 18. That is really scary to Arsenal fans, because if Villa's gained 18 points from losing positions, and you know that last season, when you drew 2-2, you know how it came up, Arsenal, I think, took the lead first, if I'm not mistaken. Arsenal 2 to Aston Villa. In that particular game of football, obviously, Arsenal scored first and they led by 2 goals. In the 35th minute, Martinelli went ahead to score. And 55th minute, guess who doubled the lead? It was Kai Havertz. And then 5 minutes later, Yuri Tielemans went ahead to obviously pull one back for the side of Aston Villa. Then Oli Watkins, 8 minutes back, went ahead to obviously get it to level terms. You remember. So, if Aston Villa has gained 18 points from losing position, and you relate it to the last result that Arsenal really had at this pitch with Aston Villa in the previous season, you have to really get worried a little bit, I think that stat is sending you into shockwaves, not so? After that, we go to 2 points have been dropped from a winning position by Arsenal, and then 2 points have also been dropped by Aston Villa from winning position. For that, their draw. Now, Brighton came to London. Arsenal beat them by 2-1. You understand? And Villa came to London and beat Chelsea by 2-1. And remember, they were in a losing position, meaning that Arsenal, even if you are in a leading position, you won't have any reason to jubilate because Villa are the comeback kings. They are the comeback kings, and that really puts them at a specific position to obviously threaten all the teams they've gone ahead to obviously play. And I tell you what, this is the third game that Arsenal has gone ahead to play amongst the 6 games that they never won last season. And all these 6 fixtures are really consecutive. They are coming one after another. I told you last season, Arsenal drew with Everton. This time round, they played Everton and Arsenal went ahead to beat the side of Everton in there for you. The other big call was a side known as Brighton. Arsenal, I think, drew 1-1 with Brighton, and this time around, Arsenal is going to have to beat them by 2-1. You understand? So, I tell you, a lot is happening, but it will depend on what the match results will be in there. Let's head to more stats. Arsenal and Aston Villa have played 189 games between themselves, and Arsenal has gone ahead to win 82. Aston Villa has gone ahead to win 69. The draws are 40, right? Then, in the previous 3 fixtures, on the 6th of December 2025, Aston Villa beat Arsenal by 2-1. January 2025, Arsenal drew with Aston Villa 2-2. That is it. And in the season of 2024-2025, there is when, I think this was 2023-2024. No, not really. Arsenal. All right. Last season, Arsenal beat Aston Villa away by 2-0. Then when Aston Villa came to Emirates, Arsenal went ahead to draw 2-2. And they lost a 2-goal lead, Then, Villa, this season, hosted Arsenal and they beat Arsenal by 2-1. But you saw to it that Arsenal really lost it late. And I was like, when a goal is supposed to go in, indeed it's supposed to go in because Arsenal defended. That ball ricocheted like 6-7 times. But finally, Eddie Buendia went ahead to put it in the back of the net. That is it. So, with Gabriel Magalhaes back and William Saliba, that partnership back, it really speaks volumes for everyone who knows what those two bring on the table for the side of Arsenal. Meaning that this time around, when they really get 2 goals, I think they can defend them. They can defend those 2 goals. And the big question is, will Arsenal really score as expected? That is where we are. Now, Arsenal has very many players who are really doubts in this particular fixture. And I want to let you know that the team news is really shocking. Declan Rice, doubtful. Julian Timber, Ricardo Carafiori, doubtful. But those 3 can feature into this fixture because we haven't gone ahead to see those photos of the team arriving at the hotel in there, meaning that the manager is really playing what we call a huge mind game, and we'll only get to know of the starting 11 an hour or 2, all when the players really arrive. That is it. Then for Kai Havertz, he's close, and don't be shocked if at all is in the match squad today. That is Kai Havertz. Then Mosquera is out. Ben White is out. He's injured, you understand? And I think the rest of the players are really available for the club of Arsenal in there. Now, when we go to the side of Aston Villa, first and foremost, Matt Cash and Boba Kamara both are triggered 1-match bans after being booked at Stamford Bridge. So, I think that is really a very huge boost to the side of Arsenal. If you know, you know. You understand? Because if you know exactly how those guys really do their job in the midfield, you have to obviously come up and obviously put out a very huge midfield. And with Arsenal not having some of its players, if you hear that, Boba Kamara is not going to be in the midfield, Matt Cash, their right back, is really out, it's really very important for the club of Arsenal to note that indeed, they really have a little bit of loosening into that strong side of Villa. I tell you, if at all you watched the game of Arsenal, the first goal they conceded, it was on 3 occasions that Matt Cash found himself in those positions, you know. And I think one of those, if I don't remember, it's Declan Rice that went ahead to deny him to go onto the score sheet. But on the second time, when Ebelechi Eze slept just for a second, Matt Cash was there to produce a wonderful moment, and the goal went ahead to count in there. But those two are really out, you know. Now, Trung Mings and Pau Torres are also out, you know. Ross Barkley is also out, and Evan Gooseguard is also at the African Cup of Nations. You get? So, those are the players that Aston Villa want to be having, meaning that at least Arsenal is really having a little bit of a breather as they're heading into this fixture. I tell you, Arsenal is having a little bit of a breather as they head into this fixture, because imagine if imagine if Boba Kamara was there, you know, it would have gone ahead to be a different story altogether. You get? So that's the club of Arsenal for you, and they're really doing a lot of things together to see to it that they make ends meet, right? So let's obviously head to what we call the probable starting 11. Probable starting 11 for the club of Arsenal. And here we go. Because most of you are like asking me, Rokani, how will we line up? Let's go there. System 4-3-3. And we come into the goalkeeping department. Obviously, it's going to be David Raya. No doubt about it. And Raya comes into this game of football after pulling out what we call a spectacular save. You know, Minte went ahead to obviously use his left foot, curled that ball into the top right corner, and David Raya pulled a worldie in there for you. Now, the right back position is really very tricky. Benjamin White is out. He's not expected in this game of football. Julian Timber is doubtful, you know. And I think a man called Declan Rice might be the available candidate to play in that position like he did when they're playing against a team known as Brighton. But if Julian Timber passes the late fitness test, obviously he'll be the man playing into that position. That is it. You get? Left back, Ricardo Carafiori doubtful. Arsenal can field 2 players there. Piero Hincapi or a player called Miles Lewis Kelly. But I think Miles Lewis Kelly obviously will be looked at as one of those players to come in through and really feature predominantly into that position. But don't be shocked if I told Mikel Arteta names Pierre Hincapi to come in through and obviously play into that position, because in these games rotation is really going to be important as they are coming in through thick and fast. Now from there we head into the central defense. Big Gabi, left-sided center back, he gets back into the starting 11 after a long while. You know, it has been, I think, some weeks, 4, 5, 6 weeks of him out in action, but we saw him come off the bench when Arsenal was playing against a team known as Brighton, and really featured very well alongside William Saliba. Now, who will play as the right-sided centre-back? Obviously, it's going to be William Saliba. Now, that back line of Arsenal that has gone ahead to produce wonders for Arsenal is back. I'm talking about the centre-back pairing. To me, it's the best centre-back pairing in the world. No one comes close to it. That is it. No one comes close to it. No defense comes close to it. I think the only defense that can come close to it, if at all it's really together, it's Matthias de Ligt and Lisandro Martinez, if they really partner up. But Matthias De Ligt was there playing very well. Martinez was injured. As Martinez healed and got into the team, Matthias De Ligt got injured. But when you look at Man City, you cannot come here and really hail their defense. You cannot hail Van Dijk and you cannot hail the defense of Van Dijk and Konate and very many others. So, as it stands, I want to confirm to you that Arsenal has the best center pairing in the world. They complement each other very well, and they have a very good communication in there. Now, their return also helps Arsenal in what we call the set-piece threats. And today, Aston Villa has to watch out. Although, even Villa are what we call set-piece kings, but this side has shown that they are really better in set pieces, as no team has gone ahead to score more set pieces in the Premier League than Arsenal. That is it. And the win against Brighton, you saw it very well. Declan Rice delivered that ball, and Jorginho went ahead to put that ball in the back of his own net. So they've mastered the art of really putting that ball in a teasing way into the 6 yards box area of the opponent. You understand? So that is the back four for the club of Arsenal. And it really gives them what we call assurance that at least these two can obviously defend Oli Watkins, because it's really going to be Oli Watkins leading the line for the side of Aston Villa. Not so? Now, we head to what we call the midfield. Obviously, CDM, you know who plays there. It's Martin Zubimendi, right? Zubimendi comes in through to play into that particular position. And with Declan Rice played as a right back, now the manager has decisions to make. You understand? Merino starts, or Ebelechi Eze starts. You get? Because if you are playing a midfield of Aston Villa, you know, and you want to try out something, maybe the manager might think of playing Ebelechi Eze and Martin Odegaard, you know. But does Mikel Arteta have that brevity of really saying Eze play as a box-to-box midfielder alongside Martin Zubimendi? Does he have that brevity? That is my question. You understand? So, I don't think so. I think he'll be like, I'll play it safe. I bring in Merino, because Merino will obviously give you a lot, and he has something else in him. He's a specialist in set pieces, you know, and with Gabriel Magalhaes and Saliba being on the pitch, if you're having Mikel Merino, obviously the set piece execution might really be the reason as to why Arsenal lifts these 3 points. And they will really enter 2026 when they are really having a 5-point lead of Manchester City. So, I think Mikel Merino will come in through to feature in that position, right? Number 10, I know it's going to be Martin Odegaard. That is it. The lad is really exceptional, you know? And I think now the debate has gone ahead to end. When Eze came in through, many people were like, he's better than Martin Odegaard. He's better than Martin Odegaard. I'm like, do these people know what they're talking about? You know? Odegaard gives Arsenal control that Eze won't give them. So, I think you now know. You saw to it that when Odegaard is in, the control of the game is totally and totally different. You understand? Right forward, Noni Madueke over Bukayo Saka. In a big game like this, big side, you need big players to come in through and obviously put in a shift. And obviously, it's going to be a man called Bukayo Saka to play into that position. And sometimes I'm like, why isn't the manager taking off Saka to bring on Noni Madueke? You know, I think in a game like that of Brighton, it's better to take off this guy and bring on Noni Madueke, as he has done his part, you know. Just take him off and see to it that you really get in Noni Madueke. But I would start Saka on any day, you know. In a game like this, I would start Bukayo Saka, you know, in a game of Aston Villa, because I know that he has that big team killer mentality. He really thrives a lot in big games, and he is going to be a threat, as you have to put in your threatening players such that your opponent also feels how big you are in threatening him. Left forward, I told you that is the highly competed for position for the club of Arsenal. Trossard, Martinelli, and who? Sorry, guys. Trossard, Martinelli, and Ebelechi Eze. And for a game like this, you know who starts. It's Leandro Trossard. I told you he's my best left forward at the club of Arsenal. That is it. So that's how my team will be. Now the forward line is really very tricky. Gabriel Jesus, for the games he has gone ahead to come off the bench, he has really looked good. Even that game of Crystal Palace that went ahead to start in the Carabao Cup, I think it was last Tuesday, he really looked exquisite. And I tell you what, there is dilemma in the managers room or office with his fellow assistants, the Gabriel Hines of this world. The big question is, who should start? Who should start in the game of Arsenal versus Aston Villa today? Do you start Gyökeres or you start Gabriel Jesus? Now, in my own understanding, this is my opinion because I'm entitled to it, and the same applies to you are entitled to your own opinions too. Do you know what I do? Do you know what I do? I start Victor Gyökeres. Why? I think he's the striker who is not really good off the bench in a game like this. You get? But if you start him, he plays like 60 minutes. At the hour mark, you take him off and you get in Gabriel Jesus. There is the way Gabriel Jesus will obviously come and really create magic and really put these other players in full effect, especially if we know Martinelli will come on, obviously will come on off the bench, or the manager might start him, I don't know. But I think Martinelli best enjoys his time on the pitch when Gabriel Jesus is there. And if the manager is planning to start Gabriel Jesus, I obviously change this lineup. I take Trossard off and I put Martinelli in. If Jesus is to start, I have to start Martinelli. You get? Because Martinelli and Saka have thrived a lot when Jesus leading the line. But if it is Gyökeres leading the line, I have to start Leandro Trossard, and when I take off Gyökeres, I also take off Trossard, and I bring that Brazilian duo together on the pitch. I'm talking about Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli in there for you. So that is my probable starting 11 for you guys. I don't know what your thoughts are about it, but I know most of you have gone ahead to flock into the comment section, and you're really telling me what your thoughts are about this. I've told you about Timber. Question have been really huge about Timber. I've told you about Timber. Hello, RD. I just want to hear the injury about Timber and Carafiori. Yeah, they have to undergo what we call a late fitness test. And when they pass it, all will be great. Now, before we head into my prediction, let me read to you these match facts, guys. You understand? What's wrong with my nose? What's wrong with my nose? Sorry, guys. So, Arsenal have lost 3 of their last 5 Premier League matches against Aston Villa. They have 1 win and 1 draw, and could see Villa complete a league double over them for the 3rd time in 6 seasons. Also, in 2020, 2021, and 2023-2024, Arsenal beat them home and away. Something they would have done so just once previously in the competition beforehand in 1992 and 1993. Aston Villa are unbeaten in their last 2 away league games against Arsenal, beating them 2-0 in April 2024. This was really a very big game, this league, a title decider, and drawing 2-2 in January last season. They last had a longer run without defeat, the Emirates, between 2006 2007 season and the 2008-2009 seasons, those were 3. So, will Arsenal break the records? Because one of the best things that Arsenal is going to have to do, it has been rewriting the wrong history into being right. That's what Arsenal is going to have to do this season. So, it's going to be a very big game today, and we are going to watch it to the fullest. And you guys, just keep yourself in here. This is the third time Arsenal have faced an opponent twice in the same month in the Premier League, previously beating Wolves twice in February 2022 and beating Bolton twice in January 2010. They've just played one another, you understand? And this is match day 19, So we are waiting to see how that will happen. But when you look at how Arsenal played at the Villa Park, they never really played very bad. It was just not their day. I repeat it. It was just not their day for Arsenal to win. This is the fourth time Aston Villa have faced an opponent twice in the same month in the Premier League after May 2022, 1 win and draw versus Burnley, May 2021, 1 win, 1 draw versus Everton, and March 1996, 1 win, 1 loss and versus Sheffield Wednesday. So, I think Arsenal holds a better record than Aston Villa when it comes to playing an opponent in the same month. You understand? But will that count today? We wait when the referee blows the whistle. Right? So, Arsenal have won their final league game in 4 of the last 5 calendar years, with the exception of a 2-1 defeat at Fulham on New Year's Eve 2023. So, they've won their last 5 games, apart from that one of Fulham. And you remember, that was when Arsenal went to Dubai. When they returned from Dubai, my dear, that was in 2022-2023, Arsenal went ahead to win very many of its games. Aston Villa have won their final league game in just 2 of their last 13 calendars, 6 draws, 5 losses, beating Middlesbrough 1-0 in 2017 and Burnley 3-2 in 2023. No, meaning that on the last day, they are not a good team. Villa is not a good team. This will be Unai Emery's 3rd away Premier League match at the Emirates since leaving Arsenal, winning 1 and drawing 1 with Aston Villa. No former Ghana's boss has ever gone 3 away league games in a row without losing after leaving the club. So we wait and see whether it will happen. Arsenal's Eberechi Eze has scored in his team's final Premier League match of their calendar in each of the last 3 years, all for Crystal Palace. In 2022 versus Bournemouth, 2023 versus Brentford, and 2024 versus Southampton. So, Eberechi Eze might be really a good pick in this game because he has been scoring goals in the last 3 last year calendar matches. The only players to achieve this in 4 years in a row are Dimitar Berbatov, 5 from 2007 to 2011, and Harry Kane, 2016 to 2019. Will he go on to meet the record of Berbatov and Harry Kane? We wait and see how that will pan out. Arsenal's Eberechi Eze has been involved in 5 goals in 4 home Premier League starts against Aston Villa, 2 goals and 3 assists, all for his former side Crystal Palace between May 2021 and February 2025, registering at least 1 assist in 3 of those 4 starts, meaning that it will make a lot of sense for Mikel Arteta, if he's the man who follows stats, to start Eberechi Eze in this game. You get? It will hold a lot of sense. Or maybe keep him as a weapon, off the bench. Oli Watkins has scored 4 goals in 5 away Premier League appearances against Arsenal, the most any Aston Villa has netted away at the Gunners. So, that is it. You know what is on the cards now. After all that read and said, my prediction, 2-1 win for the club of Arsenal. That's what I'm really calling in for. I'm calling in for a 2-1 win for the club of Arsenal. I don't know what your prediction is, but I'm calling in for a 2-1 win for the club of Arsenal. So guys, feel free to go into the comment section and let me know what your thoughts are about this. But we remain the Rokani Media Football, and I'm rushing into your comments, right? I'm rushing into your comments to see what your thoughts are about this. Let's obviously go there and see how things will obviously pan out, you know. I've talked about Carafiori, Henry Moses. Actually, I want to ask you, Rokani, how come these same teams come in the same segment? Does the Premier League? No, it's possible, because remember, it's coming in through at the end of the year. And remember, by the time we end the year, every team would have gone ahead to play 19 games. So it's like that. It's like that. It's not much fixing. It's not betting, because you are playing, even if you play Aston Villa now, it makes no difference, you know, playing him in January or February, because the fact is you've played him. You get, like Manchester United, they're going to be playing Wolverhampton Wanderers, you know, twice in a month. Ashraf, good evening, Mr. Genius Rokani. Thank you. Moses says, this game as Arsenal will play with plasma because our players cried surely. All right. Papa says, up the Villa. All right. Esau says, hey, Rokani, good evening. Good evening. Frank Binta, hi. Arsenal should win. All right. It's a must win for Arsenal. Thank you. Then Timber and Carafiori trained with the team. First and foremost, I really want to come out and really let you know that yesterday, unless otherwise, they didn't take their photos. But all we know about is that Carafiori and Julian Timber have to pass what we call a late fitness test. That's what I'm really getting from my credible sources. You know, if they pass it, they'll obviously come up and really put out a very huge shift. And if they don't, you get, if they don't, they won't really do the needful, you know. But for your information, in those photos, I saw Ebelechi Eze there, Gabriel Magalhaes there, Nogard there, Saka there, Piero Hincapie there, Saliba there, Zubimendi was there, Noni Madueke, who was there, Gabriel Jesus was there, fully active, Victor Gyökeres was there, Trossard was there, Kai Havertz was there. I repeat this. Kai Havertz trained with the team of Arsenal, right? Who else? Trossard trained. Bukayo Saka trained. Gyökeres trained. I've hinted about him. Martinelli did train with the team. For Kai Havertz, he was there. Salmon Mari was there. David Raya was there. Zubimendi there. Ethan Nwaneri there. If they trained, all right, we wait to see what the arriving team will be like. But I'm suspicious that they really train, because the manager is trying to play mind games on Unai Emery, you know. Where did you see him? Timber, when you look at the photos they really released on the website of Arsenal, Timber was not there. Timber was not there, right? Timber was not there. For Arsenal today, all right. That is John Martin. Bro, today it will be tough. Obviously, it's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be an easy game. For any Arsenal fan who heads into this game think that's going to be an easy one, please. It won't. It will be hard. I'm having Luis Rokani, please. Start Gabriel Jesus over Gyökeres simply because he's more Premier League proven than Gyökeres. All right? Naboth says, thank you for the good work. I wish you a happy new year. Yeah, happy new year to you too. And which game will you watch Rokani? I'll watch both. I'll watch both games. I'll watch both games in there. I love you, Rokani. I love you too. Thanks, Rokani. I'm in Wobble in Ziruelo district. I think Arsenal will win by 3-1. Suboga Emmanuel, thank you. Then Pikisa, good evening, Mr. Aradi. Thank you for the analysis. Thank you. So, guys, that's what I had for you in here onto what we call the Rokani Media Football. And thank you guys for being part of this video. I just love you. And we are going to be dropping uploads in there before the game really starts. But for any update that really arrives here about any Arsenal player, I'll be here to let you know about it in full swing. So guys, we out. See you later, and thank you for being part of this. Remember, we'll come back live again when you're doing what we call the confirmed starting 11 for the club of Arsenal. And this will be accompanied a lot with your predictions in the live segment, and you know how we do it. Picasa Herbert says 1-1 draw. That's his prediction in there for you. I've gone in for a 2-1 win for the club of Arsenal in there. And that is my probable starting 11. Who do you get in? Who do you add? Meaning that, what's your subtraction? What's your addition? That is it for you guys. And I'm having Cassidia William. Shout out to you, my brother, for all the effort you put in, week out. Happy New Year, mate. Happy New Year to everyone watching in through. Today is 30th. 31st tomorrow, we head into 2026. And tomorrow, the January transfer window opens. And we're obviously going to be diving deep into what that should call in for. And we out. Bye-bye.